Gibbo presents.
It's Gibbo, and right now I'm once again joined by Kabaka Pyramids. Kabaka, how are you?
Blessed love. Good enough, giving thanks, you know?
Your new single, Well Done, is available now from iTunes and has caused quite a stir in the short time since its release. It was, of course, produced by Damian Jr. Gong Marley. So, to begin with, can you tell me how far you and him go back and when you first met?
All right. Well, I guess you could have said we went back to around, I think I met him towards the end of 2003. Or it was early, no, not 2003, sorry, 2013. Or it was early 2014. You know, I went down to his studio because I heard that, you know, a brethren of mine, Jazzy T, link and say, oh, you know, gang, him rate the high music and, you know, him interested in doing something. So I went down to the studio and it was just, they were doing a session with Jojo, with Damian Marley, you know, and I just sat in on the session and I was just there holding a vibe and met Damon, of course, and, you know, didn't really get to reason much that night still, but I see him is a cool brother and thing, you know what I mean? And yeah, just mainly introduction to him and Julian. And later on in that year, last year, he reached out to another brethren of mine and said, I have this rhythm where he want to voice up some of the young artists them and thing. And, you know, him sent me the rhythm and we spoke on the phone and, you know, we just wrote to the rhythm. I think it was like the same day. And, you know, just show him, say, yo, I have a nice song on it, and I have a record it. So I recorded it at our studio in Jamaica, Baby Rock Studio, and then sent him the vocal. And then, you know, I actually flew up to Miami. I was up in Miami for a Protege show, the get together, you know, and me and Chronix was there. And, you know, I stayed back in Miami for a little while. So I got to link with Gang them at the studio again, and I was there like regular. And, you know, we mixed down the song together and, you know, he sent it off to get mastered and thing. And it was a great vibe, you know, we played ball together. We do, you know, we just hold a joy. Like, you know, it's like a real laid back settings, but very productive. You know, them man, they stay working all night, you know what I mean? So it was a good experience still.
From what you saw of him during that in-studio session in Miami, can you describe Gong's in-studio demeanor? How does he differ from other producers you've worked with?
I mean, well, he's you know, he's very focused. He's almost like a workaholic in that sense. You know, he's a nighttime worker, so, you know, would have start maybe you know, 10 o'clock at night and just go straight back till morning. You know what I mean? So he would just be, he would start out on him MPC and just program a drum pattern. And then him have him keyboardist Paul there with him, and, you know, he has a keyboard, he would play like a bass line or put some keys on it, or, you know, and then you just send that over into the main machine now and track it out and then on to the next rhythm. You know what I mean? So him like to lay down ideas. And then if something really strike, then, you know, would I write a song on it or whatever and record it same time. And yeah, you know, him have a very keen ear for music. You know what I mean? Him know if he has a sound in his head, he can replicate it. You know what I mean? And when he programming drum patterns, and very diverse. It's not like the same thing each time. You know what I mean? So it might be a one drop, it might be a two drop, it might be a steppers, it might be a dancehall kind of vibe, hip hop vibe. Very versatile as a producer. You know what I mean? And him very open. If I'm writing, you know, him would just allow me to write. Him never really get involved like that unless I ask for an opinion. So, you know, he's not very imposing neither. Him give you space to kind of do your thing, and I like that. You know what I mean?
Did you come up with the idea for Well Done when he sent you the rhythm, or was this a subject you'd been wanting to tackle for a minute?
It was just when I got the rhythm. I got the inspiration right then and there. I'm not sure where it came from, but you don't know, these are things that we discuss all the time amongst ourselves as brethren, and when we watch the news and things like that, we just think to ourselves, like, what's really going on? You know what I mean? What really are going on in the system? And, you know, it's just a song, it's just an outlet to express our feelings towards a lot of these topics when it comes to government and running the country. You know what I mean?
So was there a specific event or incident which you perhaps saw on the news or read in the paper which sparked you to write about this subject?
I wouldn't say there was one specific thing. You know what I mean? It was a time when, you know, a lot of stuff was happening. You know, a lot of embarrassing stuff, like information coming out about certain governmental entities and certain individuals in government. You know, it's around the time when they're beginning to talk about the inquiry into Tivoli. You know what I mean? There's different things, you know, different drama. It's like a soap opera with the different ministers, them, you know. You know what I mean? So a lot of things was coming out towards like the September, October last year. You know what I mean? And the whole incident with, you know, with selling out Goat Island to the Chinese, and, you know, them things was hot topics at the time. You know what I mean? The whole chicken gunya and how the government dealt with it. You know what I mean? Like them saying, them been preparing for the introduction of chicken gunya for 2 years, and yet we just finding out about it like a month before the outbreak. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of things like that was happening at the time.
Is there one politician whose behaviour in particular makes you more angry than the rest? Is there one who's the worst of the bunch?
No, I can't really say that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, based on the whole situation with Pinnacle, obviously like a Lisa Hanna would stand out. You know what I mean? She being involved, you know, with you know, somebody who is involved with, you know, the land ownership of Pinnacle, at the same time involved with the ministry that governs how, you know, land and stuff is dealt with. So, you know, it's like, and then you hear things like, you know, a lot of people having issues with her, you know, posted pictures in bikinis on the beach and things like that. So it's somebody we're always, you know, involved, you know, with in the whole media aspect of things and controversy. So, you know, maybe somebody like she would stand out, you know, but there's so many of them, you know what I mean? There's so many of them. You know, all of the ministers, all of them is like there's questionable activity. You know, there's issues when it comes to competency. You know what I mean? You're talking about ministers being offered jobs where they haven't been trained or have any schooling in that area. You know, so I wouldn't really signal out anyone still. But it's an entire system, it's a governmental system that has been imposed on us through, you know, colonialism, and still continued even through quote-unquote independence. You know what I mean? So we're still dependent on bodies like the IMF to just loan us money every few years, and, you know, clearly there's no way that we can pay back, you know, and things. So, you know, it's just an overall system rather than on an individual basis.
You mentioned in the single that Mr. Politician Man wants to keep poverty and unemployment on the rise. Can you explain why you think this is?
I think, you know, a lot of Jamaica's system is dependent on poverty. I think the lack of education and the poverty situation fuels the whole voting system. Because I'm sure if you really check Jamaica and they were to do a census, I'm sure that the educated population are voting less and less, while the uneducated, who are influenced by things like they're coming into the communities and giving away free KFC and chicken and them things, and people voting. You know what I mean? People who take in petty promises to vote and remain loyal to these parties. You know what I mean? When you see the political rallies going on, I'm sure it's majority poor people. You know what I mean? And I really think the system is dependent on that, you know, certain things that fuel their economy is things like crime. So the whole court and justice system is dependent on crime. You know what I mean? So making money through the courts and through having people in prison. You know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of these things, you know, just them to retain power in such a corrupt system depends on lack of education. You know what I mean? But it's really a song to call upon the educated population, though, to do something. You know what I mean? To help, you know, shift that balance. You know, because we can't really depend on the government to do it. You know.
Hypothetical situation. Let's say you get a call from Portia Simpson Miller, and she says, "Kabaka, I've heard your track, and I want to know what you think needs to be done to improve the situation in our country. Can I have a meeting with you?" Would you accept such an offer?
No, I would give a counter offer. I don't think anything can be done through one particular party. Yes, they're the one in power, but what happens if they lose their position in a few years? You know, the JLP comes in and just breaks down pretty much everything that the PNP was doing, whether it's good or bad. You know, so their function is literally to oppose. So you'd find that, you know, Kabaka is a PNP now, and then Ray, you know, and I'm not joining anything like that. You know what I mean? If they and the JLP want to come to the table, and then we make suggestions, I would call upon others who I believe are even more qualified to make, you know, suggestions than myself, because I'm just a voice for these people. I mean, and get them to both agree on policies that can be set in place that won't be changed with any change in regime or anything like that. That is what I would be interested in.
If nothing is done and things carry on in the same direction, what does the future hold in store for Jamaica?
Well, it depends, you know. Unless there is some kind of major breakthrough, like we dig up some oil or something like that, you know, it seems like we'll continue on a kind of downward path. You know, a lot of the time I wonder if Haiti is our future, you know what I mean? When I look at the situation in Haiti and the deterioration of the society and the economic, you know, settings, if we continue to plunge further and further in debt and we continue to sell out our resources to others, you know, another option is, you know, we just lose our Jamaicanness altogether. If the Chinese and the Spanish and thing just buy out all our organizations, then you'll probably start seeing more foreign people coming into Jamaica and, you know, in positions of power and things like that, and we might just become like another, you know, another colony of America or of some other power. You know what I mean? And I'm not really sure, you know, which of these paths it are going to take, but, you know, as you say, something has to be done. You know what I mean? Something has to be done, and don't know, it's not looking good for Jamaica right now, if you ask me. You know what I mean? There's certain things where you might see, and yeah, certain roads are looking better now and they're building highways, but who is getting the money from the highway? We will be paying back the Chinese. They will be collecting that toll money for about 25 years, I'm hearing. You know what I mean? So we get this road, but we're not making any money off of it. You know what I mean? These people buying up these hotels and banking their money in banks that is not on Jamaican soil. You know what I mean? So who is really benefiting, you know?
Do you feel the public in Jamaica are aware of how serious things really are, or do they just choose to ignore the significance and poor state of the political system and the way things are?
That's a good question. I think corruption within the government is common knowledge. Because people experience it on a day-to-day basis. But I don't think people think that there's anything that can be done about it. You know what I mean? So people just adapt to the system and try to find their little loophole in the system, how them can get around it and get through it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we have a sense of comfort within this system that don't cause us to have any kind of uprising or you know, rebellion of such, you know.
Just before we finish, on a more positive note, I know you're going to be part of South by Southwest 2015. Tell me what you've got in store for the people of Texas and how much you're looking forward to playing at such a popular and diverse event.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, we're definitely looking forward to this. You know what I mean, when we got the invite, it was a great, you know, feeling for us as the Bebel camp. You know what I mean, we're definitely looking for bring reggae music, you know, live music to that stage. You know what I mean, music with a strong message and feeling. You know, we want the people them to know, so there's a movement happening, you know, out of Jamaica and out of reggae music, and we want to represent it the right way. You know, we're representing even the island of Jamaica and showing, say, yeah, you know, there's potential, you know, amongst the youths them and amongst the creative industries in Jamaica. You know, we want to promote all the things that we've been promoting through the music, you know, self-sufficiency, you know what I mean, not being a slave, you know what I mean, things like that, and, you know, healthy lifestyle, healthy living. These are the things we want to promote, and we want to make the contacts with different players in the industry, you know what I mean? So we'll be touching up all the events, we'll be touching up all, you know, making as many appearances as possible, meeting as many people, exchanging cards, exchanging numbers, and just, you know, especially in the film area as well, because we have a lot of ideas and things that we want to do, you know what I mean, and bridge the gap, you know, between the Jamaican music industry and the foreign music and film industry, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things. We're definitely excited, and, you know what I mean, I look forward to that, like, yeah, every day where I think about it, you know.
Is there anything else we need to look out for? Am I correct in thinking you're currently working on an album?
Yeah, currently working on an album. You know what I mean? I've been working with, you know, various producers. You know, I did a song on Black Uhuru's remake album that King Jammy is doing. He's redoing their first album and featuring a lot of artists like myself, Chronix, Dre Island, and even artists like Bounty Killer and other established artists and things too. So, you know, we're looking to release a couple singles from that soon. Well, King Jammy, of course, and, you know, the Chronic song, I Love King Selassie, was released. So the one that I did is going to be released soon. So you can look out for that. You know, I mean, I did some songs with Notice Records as well. You know, I have another one coming soon, maybe in April, named Too Long. That we're looking, you know, we're definitely excited about that song as well. You know, I just did a song with Cashflow Records, Change This World, which is a very interesting song. I'm interested to see what the feedback for that song will be. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's on the Sounds of the Heart rhythm. So that's going to be released soon. And, you know, behind the scenes working on the album, I'm doing a lot of production myself with various individuals, including ones from my band, the Baby Rockers. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, getting back into the production, writing a lot of songs. We soon start recording them. And, you know, we just take it from there. We're working out the overall flavor for the album right now and the vibe. You know, so we're in a lot of discussions with the team right now and seeing which direction we want to carry. But we definitely have a few songs that we're looking to put on the album. You know what I mean? And, you know, we're doing some work with Damian as well. So I don't really want to load up that too much because he want to still kind of, you know, keep that behind the scenes vibe going on for now. But yeah, we're looking forward to a lot of great things.
Well Done, the new single from Kabaka Pyramid, produced by Damian Junior Gong Marley, is out now on iTunes. Go and support good reggae music. Kabaka, thanks a lot.
Accurate. Give thanks.
Gibbo.